What is happening to my entire Brokers Playbook fam, to all the insiders, and to our entire audience? I couldn't be more excited to interview Alan Law. Alan is with Graywood Developments, and he is in charge of sales here at Centricity Condos in the center of Toronto at Church and Dundas. Alan, thank you for taking the time to speak with us and giving us some insight on this amazing new project launching January 2023.
That's right, always a pleasure to have you, Simeon. So yeah, coming in 2023, right here at the corner of Church and Dundas in the heart of downtown Toronto is Centricity Condos. We're gonna have 53 stories, 594 units, and over 20,000 square feet of amenities.
We're here today because I want to get first access to my clients looking to make the first investment for 2023. We know that kind of that downtown feeling post-COVID, not only is it back, but downtown is thriving right now.
That's right.
Rents have skyrocketed over 25% in less than a year. Yeah. Tell me a little bit why you think this specific location can suit our investors into double-digit profit over the next 5 years.
Well, you know, there's a lot of factors, but number one, we know that pre-construction in downtown Toronto is always going to be the blue chip investment in real estate. We know that. But what's happening is you're seeing a lot of price appreciation outside of the GTA, in the outskirts, not even the outskirts, even the outer 416. So people are now realizing that they're looking back at downtown and there's extreme value to be found here, to be in the center of the city where you're close to the best jobs, the best healthcare, the best education.
Well, this location right now is on campus of Toronto Metropolitan University.
Absolutely.
We're a minute away from most of the buildings.
Less than a minute.
Less than a minute away.
We're overlapping.
So just to that alone, that kind of upper end student housing, which there is no low end or mid end for that matter. There's over 40,000 students at Toronto Metropolitan. Right. For those who don't know, Ryerson changed its name. But we're talking about over 40,000 students, and they have what, like a couple thousand doors?
So yeah, just outside our doorstep here, we're looking at over 46,000 students with only 1,700 on-campus beds.
It's incredible.
Right? That's less than 4%. So the campus housing serves less than 4% of the student population.
And George Brown, literally down the street.
Down the street, they've got 33,000 students with only 500 beds, right? And no better at U of T, which is a few minutes away from here. They have 65,000 students with only 3,500 beds.
The demand here for rental is going to be huge, and I think the investors who do enter this project are going to reap those rewards. I wanted to focus a little bit on the Graywood story. For those who don't know Graywood, Graywood's been around for over 3 decades. They've delivered over 30,000 doors into the market, and you guys are working on a pipeline of what?
Well, we currently have about 6,000 units in various stages of development and 3,000 units set to launch in the next 24 months.
And you guys, I believe, are a national builder. You guys service all of Canada with projects right now in Calgary
and Toronto. We've also done projects down in the United States as well.
Incredible. That gives a lot of people the faith they need to consider an investment in a market that's volatile. Right now, we're going through a recessionary period for all intents and purposes, and people are looking to put their money into something that's tied to the economy, and of course can take them through it. Most of us believe we're looking at a 1 to 2 year funny time in the market, for lack of a better word. But what we can do here, and what pre-construction offers the luxury of, is tying into an investment that's going to come to completion in at least 5 years. There is no doubt by the time we take occupancy and get it tenanted, we're looking at 5 years out.
That's right, you got it. And then, like, when you're looking at pre-construction, you're going to gain that time value, right? I mean, we're looking at a late 2027 occupancy for this project, and our deposit structure is going to be an extended deposit structure, little bite-sized payments over time, right? So you don't have to come up with that big lump sum right out of the gates.
And that's what truly makes this asset class different, and it makes it palatable. For anybody right now to outlay tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars into any purchase is difficult. It's difficult to put your mind around it only because of the volatility in the market. Right. But when you know that it's staggered over months or years in this case, it's very easy to understand that it's going to be well past this time in the market and into a new phase where shortage of inventory and massive demand are going to be delivering the wins.
That's right. We already know the story of the immigration, right? We already know that the demand is going to be there and our supply is still constrained. So as time goes on, you know what's going to happen.
Tell me a little bit about this building, Alan. What makes this building desirable to the young professional, to the student, to the doctor that works down the street, throughout the hospital network downtown? Why this building? What are you guys doing different?
Well, absolutely. Well, number one, we're talking the location, and you know that. That's the number one rule in real estate is the location. We're at the corner of Church and Dundas. In fact, we're just a few steps from the Eaton Centre and Yonge Dundas Square. That is effectively the middle of downtown Toronto. So number one, our location. And we talked about this earlier, our proximity to higher education. We're also just a few minutes from the financial district. We have nearly 600,000 high income earners right there.
That's huge.
Hospital network you mentioned is also, just another few minutes away. This is some of the top rated medical facilities in the world, right? We have the top researchers, top doctors, all are just a few minutes from here.
What I noticed when I took about a week ago, I spoke to one of your staff, and they told me about a very unique feature of the building, which I took a very keen interest to because the demographic here suits it. And that is the ability for cyclists, which is a massive part of downtown Toronto. Yeah. It's the preferred method of transportation for the short distances, for all the amenities around us. Tell me a little bit about how Graywood incorporated that into the building.
Yeah, absolutely. You nailed it, especially for this location. We know that going forward in the future, over the next few years, the bike lanes, bike access in this neighborhood is only going to get more connected and more protected. So we've taken this site and we're going to make it the most bike-friendly building in the city. And it's funny because this site used to be a gas station. So we can't take that concept.
It's coming full circle.
Exactly. We're flipping that on its head and we're making this the most bike-friendly building in Toronto. And by doing so, we've incorporated a lot of infrastructure in the building, including a separate bike lobby. So we have a separate entrance for your bikes and a dedicated elevator that's going to take you to nearly 600 bike parking spots with a service and wash station. The reason why I harp on the separate entrance and separate elevator is it's great because you're not going to have your people lugging dirty, muddy bikes through the lobby into the elevator.
Of the building.
Exactly. It's going to protect any damage, and it's just phenomenal. And that's what we see here. This is going to happen. This is the type of resident that we're going to have here.
Well, this building is definitely a great beginning to 2023. I'm very excited to work on it. I know my audience is going to appreciate checking this investment out. Alan Law is the VP of Sales for Graywood on this site. Alan's going to be working closely with myself and our entire Broker Playbook network to get you into this investment. For any questions or concerns, hit me a DM, email, phone call, whatever it is you need. And any questions you may have, I can get you directly in touch with Alan to get the exact information you need to make an informed decision.